Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Magic Mics, proudly sponsored by CoolStuffInc.com, CardHoarder.com, Alter Sleeves, as well as Twitch subscribers and Patreon supporters just like you. I'm Evan Irwin, and we get started each week by saying hello to my two co-hosts, MTG Nerd Girl.
Hey, guys. Welcome back.
Ruben Bressler.
What's going on? Happy Thursday.
It's the happiest of Thursdays, as we're here to talk about Magic news. If you missed our pre-show, subscribers to this channel get access to our NSFW version early, or our Patreon subscribers at the $5 plus level, patreon.com/magicmics. Check it out. We kick it off with our first pick in our giveaway. Get your chance at $50 worth of anything at CoolStuffInc.com by typing !raffle in the chat. But subscribe first to get 2 chances to win, and support your favorite streamer with your suggestions at the end of the show to see who we raid tonight. Of course, thanks to our sponsor, CoolStuffInc.com, where you can find cool stuff in stock every day. And we have ourselves another Superdrop. It is time for more Secret Lairs, but this one is the spicy one that they talked about last year, and it's Street Fighter. And I don't know if y'all know this, but literally right here to my right, over here on this shelf the entire time, has been one Mr. Ken figure hanging out because I love Street Fighter, and it's awesome, and that's just how I roll. So,
well, that is a good Street Fighter flex, Evan, but I feel like one of your co-hosts has a better Street Fighter flex.
I do. She does. I don't have it next to my desk, though.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't prepared to flex. I'm sorry.
No,
I'm not a big flexer.
Sure.
She could flex a lot. Well, there's 41 cards that came out today that were officially released. And this shows the gallery full of all of the Street Fighter cards. You have Ryu the World Warrior featuring the untapped symbol for his Ha-DAO-ken, which is amazing. Chun-Li with the multi-kicker that they talked about originally. Doslim, which is really cool, which he can't be blocked and stuff and draws cards. E-Honda, up to 100 target creatures. Get plus O plus X, which is equal to the number of cards in your hand, because you see your hand.
It's 100 hands.
It's what does the slapping. And it slaps on 100. It's absolutely fantastic. And Guile, of course, is red, white, and blue. It charges up his ability. This is great. Now, if you don't like Street Fighter stuff or don't care about this stuff, do you know that there are going to be in-universe versions of this?
Really?
Yes. And they're going to be released via the list in set boosters. Remember, this is where they said they're going to show up like 4 times more likely than the list cards. And there's a part of the interview that's a little weird. It feels a little revisionist history, because they say at one point that it was the idea all along to print in-universe versions of stuff. And I'm like, it was not the idea all along. I remember very clearly fighting for the idea of not doing the one and done designs forever. And later they changed their mind. And I think that's fine. I don't know why you'd have to just sort of gloss that over and say, we were always going to give you versions of these. But no, you weren't. And that was a serious problem. Anyway, we have Street Fighter characters, and I love them, and they're great.
The rumor is that the mystery card is going to be M. Bison. I would be kind of surprised if M. Bison wasn't the mystery card in there. But we've talked a little bit about it here in the chat and also in the Discord. There's no bigger name that it could possibly be. So
yeah, so Magic content creators, so 5 Magic content creators and 3 Street Fighter content creators got picture art for these. And I think so the Magic players got the 2 gold cards and the Jess guy, the guy with the bear, and then the lightning guy. I'm not as big of a Street Fighter fan.
Zangief and Blanca, you mean? Yes.
Yeah,
yeah, there you go. And then so I assume I didn't actually look up the Street Fighter creators, but they must have got the 2 characters I know.
Sure.
But you got Guile.
Yeah, they're really cool.
Yeah, these are super cool. And like, this is sort of the beginning of yet another corporate branding, a way that you can work with external companies to make the universes beyond stuff. And this is cool.
Yeah.
Little snag.
I will.
Go ahead.
Well, okay.
Well,
no, I was just going to say that there is no way in hell that the plan was to print in-universe versions of these. Because how would you possibly? There's no way.
Well, the names are going to be different, and otherwise all these stats are the same.
Fine,
but
there's no way that you can print a version of this and it not just be obviously E Honda or obviously Ryu. Like, there's no way.
Well, I guess we're going to see now, aren't we?
They can make it like slightly flavorful, like the Ninja Turtles, right? From like, it doesn't say Ninja Turtle on it, but
but it's
sure,
Turtle Ninja, right?
That's fair.
Well, one of the things that Jason Rainville, who was I believe he drew the Ryu from the set, he says they requested that the art is all digital, first of all, so there is no original painting to be resold. They did note that artists cannot sell prints of their work for the Universes Beyond stuff. They can't sell originals because they did it digitally, and they don't get artist proofs, which is, if you don't know, these are usually 50 of the card that they illustrated with a white back on the backing to denote that it's an artist proof. And they get those 50 and that's it. And so they use those materials to resell to help, sort of essentially pad the amount of money that you're able to get out of your commission. And later, you can sell prints of your work. Now, this is super important long-term. Imagine the long tail of an art print that you print, if you're illustrating a random common that, disenchants something, sure, whatever. But, when you are, painting a Planeswalker, when you are painting one of the biggest mythics in the set or one of the most important tournament cards in the set, you're going to sell those prints for years and years. And I already know that people were asking them, hey, can I get a print of that Ryu image so I can put it on my arcade cabinet?
Yeah, of course.
Nope. But you don't even give the man 50 copies of the card as an artist proof. Like, I understand the selling the prints things and the IP and the rights and the whatever. Okay, I get that.
Yeah.
You couldn't give the man 50 copies of the card.
I mean, it might not be within Wizards' reach to do it with the collab with that particular IP, because there's a reason this hasn't happened in the past in this way. I hope, I don't know, but my hope is that they were compensated accordingly, and that they also knew this going into the art, accepting the commission in the first place. So if hopefully they were compensated extra, if not,
well, I've been
the
told
artists,
they were compensated. They're compensated extra. Yes.
So like
one of our commenters in the chat is saying that.
Okay,
anyway,
cool.
Go ahead.
Then that's I think that's fine, especially because this is such a weird thing outside of the Magic world, and I can't really expect the Street Fighter company to be okay with the same way that Wizards art operates.
Right. Capcom is going to Capcom. So I get that. To me, that's the selling the prints thing. But like, you really couldn't give the artist 50 copies of the card. Whatever. Die on a hill. It's fine.
I agree with, obviously I agree with everything Nerd Girl always says, but most of the time. But in this particular case, first of all, Capcom has always been very draconian when it comes to protecting their IP.
It's true.
So not surprising that a lot of the rules are in place. And perhaps it even came from Capcom specifically to say they can't have the image. The artists themselves can't sell an original copy and they can't get artist proofs. I would not be shocked if that were the case.
Right.
This is just a weird, nebulous intellectual property gray area. It's tough for artists of the game Street Fighter to get their art, right?
Sure.
So it's not terribly surprising. It is disappointing, and I'm glad that they were paid slightly more, but 3x or 5x of, 1,000, whatever you get paid for your thing, is still only $3,000 or $5,000. Whereas, like you said, the long tail of art,
it could be a lot more than that. Again,
way more, much less for the original.
Right, artwork, the playmats through Ultra Pro, all that good stuff. So you got the things, coin slots there.
Here comes the thing,
which is super cool.
So I guess if these arts are now extremely coveted, I suppose this is a pretty sweet thing, right?
Oh yeah.
So we've got the full board.
Cool.
I am 13 years old again. Let's do this.
I love it. Delightful.
Very
this thing
cool.
pops down.
And you've got the gaming cabinet buttons.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Very cool.
Here comes a new challenger, which is also sweet.
Wild.
And
That's an awesome little thing.
It came with this, and it's got a little stand.
Oh, nice.
Oh. Wow.
That's Pretty sweet.
Ooh, very pretty.
So well, that's wild that they sent one of those to you.
But they won't let the artist make them.
But they won't let the artist make them.
Won't send any to the artist, pre-made, for example, for sale. Or just for, keepsake. Here's 5 to do what you want. Put them up in your house or something. Or give them to your relatives. I don't know. It's just really weird. And again, I
love it.
It's cool that they're getting better compensated. If anything, as what I've heard over the years is Wizards rates aren't the greatest, and being able to do things like selling playmats and being able to do things like selling prints, helps offset that. And as you grow a body of work, you have more playmats and more prints that you're able to offer, and then can really help, boost up your compensation there. So
it's like that for any art. Even like as a Twitch streamer, my emotes, I do not own the rights to. I have to pay a lot extra for that. So if you commission an emote for between $20 and $45 typically, I do not have the right to tack that on and sell it on to anything else except for the things that they specifically give me permission for, which is Twitch. And then they usually charge $20 to $50 more per emote for me to own those rights. So I'm guessing what Wizards is doing is they're commissioning a thing, but they do not purchase exclusive rights, which allows the creator to continue doing whatever they want with the art. Versus a company like Street Fighter who says, I would like to commission a thing and I want exclusive rights. And I'm hoping they paid the artists for that.
And from what I can tell, they were compensated, and that's fantastic. So moving on here through the Street Fighter cards was fantastic. And that's all that's in this slideshow, as I'm finding out. Moving on here to all 41 Secret Lair drops. We have a host. This is the Kaito Shizuki, the introducing Kaito Shizuki Secret Lair. I won't go through every single last one, but I will note this is the first reprint from Bribery since like 8th edition.
Yeah.
This is the money card of the product, and it's going to be $30+ easy. You still have Unmasked, which is another giant reprint that hasn't been reprinted since like Masks or something, whatever. So that's another $15+ card. And Shadow of Doubt, I know is a popular one as well. You have the Kamigawa, the manga, the cards with artist Ryu Kamei, illustrating these. Idyllic Tutor is a big winner. This is like a $15+ card, which is cool. Yeah. Swords is Swords. Swords is always great. Solve the Equation, already a like $3 to $4 uncommon. This thing's going to be pricey. I assure you. Praetor's Grasp, that's another like $15 card that just they had never reprinted.
That's my favorite thing about talking about the Secret Lairs is we learn what cards are randomly $15 to $35. Just like I would never have guessed, even back when we were talking about like Crater Hoof, there's just like, why is Solve the Equation $5? Why is Praetor's Grasp $15? It's like, wow. Okay. Well, this is news to me.
Now you know. So here are the little walkers, the chibi style walkers. Oh. And these things are just absolutely adorable. And again, this is where you learn that Tamio the Moon Sage is like a $15 to $20 card because we ain't seen it since Avacyn Restored. A Johnny Mentor of Heroes is another winner out there because it says you gain 100 life on it, which is also dope. Angrath is here. Ashiok Dream Render along with Sorengrim Nemesis. Again, super cute. I like those a lot. This is just weird. This Secret Lair, I don't understand it because there's no money in any of these cards.
This is the traditional lands, the original Kamigawa lands?
No, this is the Hideaway cycle. This is the entire, this is Windbrisk Heights. This is Spine Rock Knoll. This is the entire Hideaway cycle done in a traditional Japanese art style, which I think the art's beautiful. I think it's really cool. But literally every single one of these cards is like 50 to 75 cents or something. Like, so I just like, this is going to be the coolest Pimpus versions that exist. No doubt about it. But I was like, what's happening? Because I thought they were like the original Kamigawa legendary lands, right? Like a Gonjo and the Minamo that cost $1 million. And I was like, that's where the money is in this set. Nope, it's the Hideaway cycle. What? Okay, weird. I'll stay mystified. Here we have the Shades Not Included artist Ben Schnuck. Has an 80s inspired synthwave treatment for lands.
These are the coolest.
These are dope.
These are literally the coolest basics I think I've ever seen. I would love to have a full deck of these.
These are really cool. And the tweet actually made some waves, right? Like they posted these and they were like, oh, hey, by the way, like I'm a magic artist or whatever. And people were just like losing it on Twitter over these.
Oh, yeah.
Some synth waves, perhaps.
Oh, hey, look, this is like of all the basic lands, maybe the full text lands in addition to it, but of all the other lands that you wanted to buy like 20 of, this is one that I really would have appreciated them offering, 5x, 10x, 20x options, because like, holy cow, this is cool. And so they say Ben is quite beloved in the MTG cosplay community, which is great. Ben is a proxy artist, and as I understand it, he came up with this and then they licensed this from him to put on the Secret Lair.
That's great. What a cool thing.
Which is absolutely incredible. And I love synthwave music, which is great. And this is all what I love. It's great.
Lo-fi basics to study and relax to.
To groove to, that's right. So showcase Neon Dynasty. These cards display neon ink foils, the crazy new foilings from the Hitotsugu promos, and features artists, Japanese artists that I'm not going to mess their names up. So check them out as you can. Ghostly Prison, couple bucks. Cool version. Very nice. Freed from the Real, also like $3 or $4. I didn't know that was a thing. Only been printed since Saviors, I believe it was. Boseiju is like a $30 card.
Yep.
And Hail of the Bandit Lord's like a $25 to $30 card.
Yep. So
you got your money in this one big time.
Colorless legendary lands, sweet versions. That Hall of the Bandit Lord. I was trying to build a deck with Hall of the Bandit Lord and was like, I just couldn't because it was just way too expensive. But now that we're getting a new one, maybe it'll go down a little bit. These are really cool. I like that they're letting us have the neon foil on other cards as well.
That's what I was going to say, is that this is a new technique. So depending on, how well these do, and, they might not bring this back. I feel like this neon is a very Kamigawa thing. And they're going to try to come out with new things to represent, whatever the new set flavor is. So this type of foiling is just going to be super cool and pretty rare, I think, in the long run. I actually got one of the WPN yellow Hitsugus.
Oh, cool.
But I'm not really sure, what all that means exactly, but that's the neat thing about this, is that there's so many different flavors of one particular card here, so they're really neat.
Like, I can't look. Wizards has tried to kind of sort of explain how rare these Hitotsugu promos are. Having now gone through the process of opening lots and lots of product from the cool stuff side, so I know these things. They are stupidly rare. I'm telling you, like the rarest one, I want to be wrong, but just like, the picnic napkin math is like 1 in 10,000 collector boxes. Shit. It is unbelievably rare. Like it is wild. It is astronomical. If you find the rarest one for under $1,000, you take it and you say thank you, because that thing is just insane. I've never seen one in real life. It's nuts. And we'll get to other stuff that's kind of weird about the printing here in a little bit, but holy cow, man, they are just crazy rare.
They did go hog wild and sort of going in the Yu-Gi-Oh method of here's 85 different versions.
So you're saying I might have $1,000 in one of these packs?
100%. 100%.
Oh, man.
Those cards are unbelievly rare.
Yeah,
It is Magic
wild.
The loot boxing. We've done it.
Because you have to think the current, like the most common one is like 1 in like 50 to 100 collector boxes. And so the next one is twice as rare. And the one after that is twice as rare as that one. So when you extrapolate math, it adds up poorly in terms of how many you're going to have to open. Anyway, moving on here. This is the special guest, Yuko Shimizu, sorry. A award-winning Japanese illustrator who made some really cool promos here, of course, for Secret Lair. Hikori Dust Drinker. That's worth some dollars.
Yeah.
Kira Great Glass Spinner, again, the first reprint, which is also fantastic. Eidolon of the Great Revel is kind of the big money here. This is the $15 to $20 card inside it, as well as the first reprint ever of Elvish Spirit Guide.
Yeah, I love this art style.
Since Alliances, y'all. Since Alliances.
I think the Elvish Spirit Guide is the best art.
Yeah,
really
those
pretty.
are all gorgeous. I love everything about those. This is also, lore nerds out there, the third time that Greensleeves has been referenced in a flavor text, one of the main characters of the very first Magic story.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, just think about this. Look at Old Man Magic here. I was in high school the first time this card was printed, and this is the second time it's been reprinted in my lifetime. That's a lot.
Crazy.
So they talked about the Street Fighter stuff, which is here, and that rounds out the new Secret Lairs for February. They go on sale tomorrow. They'll be on sale
That's
through.
so many Secret Lairs.
I know, right? They'll be on sale through March. Save your pennies if you can get them. I would argue that if you have to only get one of them, get the weird neon ink foil. They packed it full of value. I think it's great.
Yeah, the neon ink foil, based on what cards are in it, and also the foiling process, I think is the winner. After that, I think the basic synthwave lands are probably my favorite.
Oh, and I'm sorry, Kira, the Great Glassspinner, was reprinted previously. That was on me. It's a different one. So I thought that was right. That wasn't right. But thank you for that fix. Nerd Girl, if you had your choice, which one of these would you get?
I mean, Street Fighter has been so popular for so long. I think if you're doing this from an investment standpoint, you would be hard pressed not to get that one.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because there are going to be some geeks out there 10, 15 years from now who are really going to want that. Assuming Magic hasn't, imploded by then.
And Street Fighter hasn't imploded either, for that matter.
But I don't think Street Fighter will implode. But I don't think Magic will either, to be fair. But assuming there are still Magic geeks out there, this is going to be one of the higher ticket items.
And I think that secretly, the Hideaway land cycle is also going to be very good ROI in terms of what you pay for it and what it's going to be worth 5 years from now, because when the layers are not purchased because they don't seem appealing, they're that much more expensive because they made that much fewer. So
interesting.
And we've seen this before happen where the cycle of lands that they've done, for example. For Eldraine, they did the Eldraine lands, the Winter Wonderland lands. And I have one of those. It's right up there on the shelf. Because I was like, hey, no one likes this. I'm in. And if no one likes the Hideaway land stuff, or very few do, then there you go.
Interesting.
But yeah, so super cool stuff. Just our new normal now, which is Secret Lairs come all the time. And if you want one, you know where you get them. Let's move on here to Gather the Townsfolk, thanks to our sponsor, cardhoarder.com, offering the best inventory prices and delivery of cards for Magic Online. All right, we move on here to Kamigawa Neon Dynasty, the official roundup. We have an official soundtrack that's out there you can find.
Yeah.
Really cool. There is a whole new trailer that they came out with, which was sweet. There was a whole song thing they came out with, that audio anime song release, which is incredible. Yep. Man, Wizards has just been absolutely crushing it with Kamigawa. Like, just crushing it.
Important to note that the art from the anime actually was one of the Secret Lair arts as well. Like, the character art and the way they did that animation was actually one of those Secret Lairs. So if you like that, then that would be the one to go to.
Nice.
Yeah, I think that they sort of learned some lessons from Kaldheim, which was they had some momentum going into Kaldheim. They had some cool stuff happening. This is the heavy metal, hard rock, and also Vikings. Let's get some musicians. Let's make it a release, right? Let's make it an album release. Right. And they had some real momentum going into Kaldheim, and then it just kind of petered out. With Kamigawa, same month of the year, they're doing something very similar, right? We've got this hype. We've got the genre pushing the set forward. We've got our motif pushing things forward, but you got to keep pounding it and keep up with the hype. Make sure that it, the tempo stays up there. And they're definitely doing that with some of this new stuff that they've got going on.
And releasing, new content throughout the release of the product. It's not just one cinematic trailer, but they had two of them. Not just one piece of content like that, but there was also the song. There's also the manga. There's the anime. They did the short stories on the website. And like when Rosewater is saying on his Blogatog, he's gotten more positive response to Neon Dynasty than any set since he started it. First of all, good. They did a damn good job. Wizards absolutely killed it in the design department, and just in the follow through has been fantastic. And I'm just over the moon at how well all this has worked.
Magic is the game with the most beautiful pieces, and it is a beautiful set. I mean, there's no other way around it. Every art piece, every mechanic, even without the art, every reference, every callback, every character is kind of in a beautiful spot.
There you go. So I'm going to bring up an oddity that we found. This token right here, the Shrine token, the 1/1 token enchantment creature Shrine.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the rarest token probably in Magic's history. I don't know what they did, but somebody messed up big time. Because retailers all around the world have been opening hundreds of boxes, hundreds of set boxes, set booster boxes, and finding none of these.
Okay.
Zero. As in, like, they opened hundreds of boxes, found zero.
Okay.
And I believe from Cool Stuff, I think we had one.
Wow.
These things are stupidly rare. So something happened. There was a mistake, clearly. Somebody didn't do a thing. Somebody didn't check a box. Somebody didn't put something on a print run that they're supposed to. But these things are now stupidly crazy rare. So my guess is Wizards is going to come out with some way to get these tokens into players' hands. And my guess is probably through WPN/FNM or something. But I would certainly expect Wizards to announce something in the near future saying, hey, this is a mistake, and we're going to get you some more. Because I can tell you from experience, these things are stupidly rare. I don't know exactly why.
It's weird, like, when you say that they didn't include it in a print run or didn't check a box, like, that makes sense. But you would think when they found one, you would find a bunch because they would have been in whatever that print run chunk is.
Right.
So if it's in a box, you would think they would have like a regular consistency in that box. But yeah, that's really interesting.
It's just
so
wild.
from Cool Stuff.
Yeah.
When they found the one,
Yeah.
where was it? Was it in a set booster?
Yeah. It was in a set booster.
That's concerning.
Right.
If the one that was found was in a set booster and then no one else has ever opened another one in a set booster, that's really concerning. That is an F up.
Earlier today, I saw like 12 on TCG Player. We're talking like across the wide world of internet, 12 of them. So that's...
Because it is a token that only is made by a creature from a Kamigawa commander deck. So, I mean, from that standpoint, I get why you might not see that token in set boosters, right? Because it's not a token that you can play in a game of draft.
And things like, mythic tokens have existed where you only get a few, but nothing anywhere close to this type of problem.
Yeah, there's a couple of weird things about this.
Yeah, it's all pretty strange. Well, we get to bounce from pretty strange mistakes to celebrations. Jimmy Wong, Magic the Gathering's Jimmy Wong is a dad. Welcome to the mtgDADs, #mtgDADs club. He announced his first NFT, the newborn fungible token.
Oh my God.
A 1/1 minted on the Wonga blockchain, and the artists have titled him Mason, which is awesome.
Delightful.
And you get to see, super adorable pictures of Jimmy Wong and the baby.
Yeah.
That is very cute. I'm surprised that it was not known until, until they were home. I don't know if I could not say, I mean, I'm a girl, so like you would be able to tell, obviously. But if I was a boy and people couldn't tell, I don't think I would be able to not say it. I'm impressed and confused.
Yeah, Jimmy keeps his private life very private. I mean, he is an actual Hollywood actor, so you kind of have to learn how to do that. So, but yeah, I mean, in any case, congratulations.
Yeah, I mean, my second oldest turns 18 on Saturday. So
wow.
as the cycle continues, I've raised 2 adults now, two humans on this earth. Thanks to me. Well, you're welcome. There was a thread here from Brian Kibler about playing Commander. And I know that, like, Ruben, you were in this sort of situation that he's describing. So I'll let you kind of take this. How does Kibler sort of talk about his kind of Commander coming out, as it were?
So Kibler, professional Magic player for, and professional card game player for decades. Literal decades.
Yeah.
Game designer, game brain. The object is to win.
Right.
And that is how he's sort of built his brain. And he has sort of moved slightly away from that, as Magic has also. And he's adapted to building commander decks and being excited to explore Magic as a personality trait, as opposed to as what is the best thing that can be done. And this, watching him sort of go through this experience, as I've gotten to get a little bit closer with him through my LARP, through our LARP, has been fun to see that you can develop and change as a Magic player and grow. I think in no small part because his significant other, Olivia, is a commander on the commander committee.
Right.
And most of his friends that play Magic in Southern California are casual Magic players and relatively new. And, you know, it's not like the old days where, you know, you're driving to the PTQ to grind, or you're going to the Pro Tour and doing your testing before the top 8 starts. That's not how people really play Magic anymore. People play Commander, really. And to see him evolve and change and be willing to give weird stuff. Honestly, Commander's a weird thing to suggest to a competitive player. Has been really, I mean, honestly inspiring to see that you can grow as a Magic player.
Yeah, it's been fascinating for me for, you know, even Arena that, you know, in the last 2 years, you know, it's crazy when we had mentioned earlier, Nurgro, when you were saying, you know, the first pre-release you'd been to in years, and like, that's true. I haven't been to a pre-release in years, and that's crazy. And kind of playing basically on Arena exclusively a little bit of Magic Online, but, you know, that's almost 100% casual. I'm not playing in the $2,000 events. I'm just, you know, playing Historic Brawl. I'll run around the standard queues or whatever. I'll try to make my vehicles deck work or whatever. But, you know, at the end of the day, I'm just kind of enjoying Magic for Magic's sake and not worried about building, going, pro points, you know, any of that stuff. And that's a whole different perspective. So
yeah, the group of people that were over at Kibler's was very interesting. It was like half LARP people, some of whom have been playing Magic since quarantine started or later. Mm-hmm. Then a smattering of Hearthstone people, a smattering of other Magic players and Magic content creators, and then some people who just don't play Magic at all. And we're, you know, there to play Mario Party and to sort of learn a little bit. And that is what the future of Magic events, not official Magic events, but you know, people coming over to your house to play Magic, that's what it's going to be.
Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, it's our future, whether we like it or not. It's at least our near term future, whether we like it or not. Last bit here for Gather the Townsfolk this week. Something I just felt was absolutely remarkable, which is the book that someone had self-published, self-created here called the ABCs of Magic. He notes here it's his son's favorite book. And this thing is absolutely fantastic. And if you want to talk about content that was developed by fans to license out for your official usage, I mean, the first Magic ABCs, A is for a Johnny, you know, B is for Black Lotus.
Oh,
I mean,
I love
C
this.
is for Chandra. It is the coolest thing ever. I cannot get over E is for Emrakul, like X is for Xenagos. I mean, it's super crazy adorbs. And to teach a small child Fibblethip is also probably hilarious.
This is incredible.
But yeah, I mean, the artwork is just top notch. The coloring is terrific. This is the type of promo item that would go a long way with all the parents and the Magic parents, which a lot of us are. Like, again, I just finished raising one human. There's more coming. So, like, you know, as babies happen and little kids happen, this is the type of stuff that Magic players would love to have, I think.
I would pay good money for this.
Yeah, I mean, like,
I don't even have a kid.
Like, you telling me Jimmy Wong doesn't want this book? I'm telling you, Jimmy Wong wants that book. Like, he does, and it's great that he does, and it's awesome, and it's fantastic.
So that's just a one-of book that someone made for their own kid?
As far as I can tell, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, like, either they did all the illustrations or they you know, got them from some form or other from commissions. Absolutely terrific. So as we move here to Desperate Ravings, check out our Alter Sleeves. You can get 5% off anything at altersleeves.com using the code MagicMikes at checkout, including a set of exclusive sleeves featuring the Magic Mikes crew at altersleeves.com/MagicMikes. And you get a free one for being a patron. And I'm going to send them that list as I get done with this so you guys can have it. Because, boy, we're getting some fun topics tonight. Oh, boy. All right. How do we start framing this one? Well, John Finkel, Johnny Magic, aka a man so good at Magic the Gathering, was in the Hall of Fame and then had another Hall of Fame career while being in the Hall of Fame. That's how good. Okay, cool. Well, he has been nominated by Alta Fox Capital to be a director for the Hasbro board. And they've made a website called freethewizards.com. And they talk about the case to repair Hasbro, the idea that they want to spring on Hasbro is a few different things based on what I've been reading and understanding. First up is that this group holds about 2.5% of Hasbro's stock. And that doesn't sound like a lot, but that's hundreds of millions of dollars. So when you got hundreds of millions of dollars, they'll listen to maybe some proposals that you have. There were a few things pointed out by this investment group. This is a hedge fund, essentially a hedge fund managers that they're trying to initiate change in this giant corporation. And, for example, one of the things was that the Hasbro board members have not bought stock in Hasbro for over a decade. And that's a little weird. If you're part of moving the ship, you should also be invested in the ship itself. Okay, that's the thing. They noted that essentially Wizards is awesome and Wizards is growing and it's all about that growth, baby. Growth. That's what they care about. Well, Hasbro, basically anything that ain't Wizards is fine. It's not like they're not making money. It's just they ain't growing. It's not the growth that you want for in a hedge fund type situation. So they say, look, why don't you just cut Wizards out of Hasbro? Instead of what you literally just did, which was completely absorb Wizards, you completely cut them out. You have their own stock that you can buy on the stock market just in Wizards, and you'll see how much people are, into this stock and how much growth it can have, and that Hasbro stock has been underperforming. And the way to fix that is to let Wizards do its own thing. Also, to initiate other changes that it had mentioned, like, for example, having Arena be more of a software as a service. Basically, you would pay some amount of dollars per month to get access to Arena cards, features, events, something. Fixing organized play, which I don't think would move the needle as much as they think it does, but it would be great for stores. And yeah, otherwise, this is, big money talking to big money. This is... Bloomberg is going to get involved. There's going to be articles coming out over the next couple of days talking to various Magic personalities and getting their takes on this stuff. And it has been absolutely fascinating to see what happens when you're in the world of hundreds of millions of dollars making giant, important decisions.
I have no patience for this news story. This is like... the worst kind of, I don't know. This is like more tech bro crap. This is all sound and no fury. There's nothing here, right? Nothing is going to tell me when something happens as a result of whatever this is. This was just some people saying some things and it gaining some traction, and
it's not just anybody. This is Johnny Magic at one of the giant hedge funds that has hundreds of millions of dollars invested in Hasbro.
Great. Let me know when they make an offer. Let me know when something happens.
Okay.
I'm on the other side. So there's 3 separate points here. There's no actual thing. Mine, I'm just not financially savvy enough to know and speak on these things in a way that makes any sense. So, I'm just going to wait to hear what happens, and then I will come to some sort of conclusion. But I don't know what would be the correct move here.
Yeah. Right. Now, again, this is in many ways speculation. But this is, when you're as giant a company as Hasbro, this is how big changes can happen, is that you have to say, hey, a part of the investors want things to happen. And so if this 2.5% if 2.5% people can convince the rest of the 2.5%ers or more, you can really initiate change there. But we'll see.
Sure. If this is a like 1980s Creed is Good style hostile takeover, then that's cool. Like that's a news story. If an offer is made, that's a news story. I just don't see a world in which Hasbro sells or spins off WotC in any like reasonable time frame.
Right.
I think that this is wishful thinking on the part of whoever Alta Fox is. I think that it's great that they have a really good, it's what seems like a good and thought out idea.
I mean, they've done a lot of work here. This is, this didn't just fall from the sky. Like,
no, this is not.
It's a huge presentation involved.
I'm not trying to poo-poo the idea. The Free the Wizards website is thought out. All of the points are covered. They know what they're talking about. I just don't see it happening.
Well, speaking of things that are not going to happen.
Great. What we love to have on the news is things that don't happen.
Well, things that don't happen because Wizards Legal got involved. There is in the tech bro world, in the NFT space, barf, is something called a decentralized autonomous organization, a DAO. And this is a very magical construct that these tech bros have envisioned in their head, much like sugar plums, that they will have no legal recourse whatsoever for doing something that is super illegal and totally not okay. And so you have here essentially the legal shutdown of one of these tech bro groups having a mtgDAO white paper that talks about creating NFTs that are attached to cards and having those be more and more scarce until only the richest can build with certain cards. And somehow that's a good thing. This is nuts. I swear to God, if anyone in your life uses the initialism of NGMI, run the other direction. They are selling you something and you're going to be stuck with the bag. NGMI means not going to make it. And it's this BS, like they're trying to sort of pseudo shame like the company into getting into their NFT garbage and nonsense.
Yeah. And this is part of the toxic positivity culture.
It is 100% part of that. That's right. And I just can't stand it. NGMI, just get out of here. This Web3 stuff is absolutely ridiculous. None of it makes any damn sense. This isn't going to work. This person doesn't understand copyright. Wizards Legal does. Don't mess with Wizards crap, and you won't have these problems.
So a DAO is a what is a DAO?
There's a fantastic documentary called Line Goes Up, and it goes all about DAOs. Remember that 2-hour documentary? There's a whole section on what it means and how they're trying to say that because these things exist and because they're already on the blockchain, there's nothing you can do about them. And it's like, bro, that's not how the world works if you're trying to make money off of it.
This is another one of these NFT people trying to
scam people. And it's a giant scam. They're all giant scams. If you don't think they're a giant scam, you either own some of it or you don't know enough about it. I hate to say it that way, but holy cow, it's really bad. All right. So the last thing I want to talk about here, not worried too much about their, EventLink crashed or whatever the weekend. That sucked. But noting that things suck is whatever. Ian Dixon, who is a friend of ours, friend of the show, for a very long time, terrific dude. He posted here, he says, back on December 21st, WotC fired their volunteer Twitch chat mods effectively immediately with a post in their Discord. They asked for addresses to send us all a token of appreciation, and now we've started to get it in. All that time and work with no pay for a channel emotes playmat. They note that Wizards never compensated its Twitch mods for their work/time, not holiday cards or anything. He notes here that he says that this is a lesson of not getting screwed by like the mod team did by giving tons of labor and time to a multinational company, making billions of dollars annually for no pay. There's a bunch of additional details and so on and so forth. It's interesting to me. And so what we're discussing about in the pre-show was that it feels like there's two minds here, right? Nerd Girl, tell me a little bit about sort of what you've seen in terms of how people are feeling.
Yeah, so I was going through, we talked about this a little bit in the pre-show, and I was going through this thread, and I was expecting it to be very pro-mods, similar to what we see with the judges, but this one was actually really different, and I was a little bit surprised, but, very, very interested in what people were saying, and that's the idea that I volunteered and I am now being screwed is an interesting take for someone to post about. And so there is a split saying that like they're making so much money, you did get screwed. But there's also people saying, well, why did you volunteer for an unpaid job expecting pay? So it is a little bit of a split. I actually see this as being kind of two-sided. The people who are very pro about this are not necessarily upset that they got something so small. I think it's that Wizards themselves was already just not paying their moderators, which should not be the case. But also, I don't understand why you would volunteer for a thing and then be feeling like you were shortchanged, I guess, when there was nothing expected at all, going into this or leading up for the last several years. And then when they ended the volunteer work, they got sent something. So it seems sort of interesting to then think that that's not enough.
Right. Yeah, I'm not sure there's a perfect answer here, but I do know, as I noted in the pre-show, this is also the perfect way for you to never have something like this happen again. For them to have commissioned the artwork and to put this into a production timeline and to get it shipped to so-and-so and to create, dozens of packages, however many there were mods, to send out to these people. It did take time, money, and effort Wizards did not have to do. And so on the one hand, I think it's great that they got something that is legitimately worth dollars, at the very least $20+ as playmats are, and could be very well worth a lot more dollars because they're very unique, hard to find promo items. Would I have liked them to have been cards? Yeah, sure. But when you try to compensate, / reward people with things that can be seen as, high in dollar value, but you paid very little for them, that's when the IRS gets involved and it gets really sticky and gross. And that's why the judges aren't judges of Wizards anymore. But the point is, this is a promo item that you weren't really expecting anything, but you did get something, and it's not terrible. And again, I think it's pretty cool.
I'm just like the mods come and go through, like, let's say, they've had mods for however many years. Mm-hmm. So you've volunteered a mod and you leave and you stop modding because life or jobs or whatever, and you're not expecting a thing. Right. So now that they have fired the volunteers, why is now the expectation of a thing? Now, I'm on the side of they probably should have just been paying mods in the first place. I'm definitely in that camp, but they weren't, and you agreed to do it. I don't really understand the problem.
Yeah. I think that there's... I would need to know more about what it's like to be a mod. First of all, mods are angel people who keep us safe from trolls and
from
garbage.
The worst on the platform. Yes, we appreciate that.
Yeah. I don't know if there is like an expectation level of like, what's the life cycle of a mod, right? So I join a channel that is like on the up and up, and I'm one of the first 100 people, and I get the sword badge thing. Mm-hmm. And then that channel gets 1,000 viewers and 10,000 viewers. And now all of a sudden I'm one of like a team of 12 in this channel that has, 15,000 concurrent, right? Just sake of argument. At what point does the discussion happen of I should be compensated for my time, and effort for that matter? And I know that it's a different case when you're dealing with literally Hasbro, right? Literally the Magic Twitch, and dude who streams from his dorm room who suddenly gets popular. Like, I understand that those are two different things, but having never been a mod on any channel that isn't my own, I don't know what the expectation looks like. So if it is a traditional thing that you were like, eventually they're going to offer us a contract if I'm modding, right? This is a work until you get the job kind of situation. And then it just never happened.
I think the easiest way to draw a line is Pharmacist Judge just dropped it on us, which is when you have mod schedules, you should pay people. When you are literally scheduling their time, you should compensate their time. If you're like, it would be cool if some mod showed up at 9 a.m., that's different than, Joe is on 9 a.m. to 12 and Sarah's on noon to 3 and, all that. At that point, come on, y'all, for real. And I understand there's some stuff that, there's some tea that has yet to be spilt. And we're not sure how much of that tea there is and how hot it may or may not be. But, there were definitely discussions
they aren't
about
streaming anything anymore.
Well, they're still streaming their Thursday live Magic stuff.
So I'm very I can have mods, not have mods, no, whatever. There's definitely no scheduling or anything. I think in the 5 years of streaming, I have made an announcement saying, hey guys, if you're around on this particular day, that'd be great. And I think I've done that twice in 5 years.
Right.
And, even then, again, no scheduling type situations or anything. But my mods are great. Our Magic Mike's mods are great.
Oh yeah, we have terrific mods. And then, and again, shout out to Joe, the hidden fourth member who helps us put together the roundup each week for us to create the show as you see it, a little loaf. Thank you so much for your help. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to the finisher. Now, the big conversation today was all about Alta Fox Capital and the potentiality of spinning off Wizards of the Coast into its own business entity. And such names as Johnny Magic himself would have been bandied about as possible board members. And it got me thinking, who would you add to your board if you spun off from Magic Mike's, Ruben?
Well, I'm glad you asked, Evan. And I have to say that stocks, Ruby, are going through the roof. So when I spin off the Mox Ruby brand, I know exactly who I want on the front line. The most popular businessman in all of Magic. My new CEO, Ragavan. Treasuring our future together.
Very nice. Nerd Girl?
Oh boy, Ruben. So let's be real. I'm already bigger than either of you two jokers.
Well.
But if I'm selecting a new CEO of MNG, I'm going to need a new partner who can help me get bigger than the two of you could ever muster. So please welcome my new president of Nerd Girl Operations, my new BFF, Matthew Lillard, and our new venture, MNG Punk.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
That's dope. Man. Yeah. One of us gets to hang out with movie stars. And well, look, number go up. Mr. Orange is a legacy brand with years of experience ready to take the next step. And I have a partner in mind too, like Kamigawa, bridging the old and new together. So please allow me to introduce the new face of Evan Irwin Industries, Elmo, and our new partnership, Captain Tickles, swinging to the red zone for our team.
Yeah.
Yay. And that ends another live episode of Magic Mike's. Thanks for joining us here to discuss all things Magic. Thank you, Nerd Girl.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Thank you, Ruben.
Hey, thanks.
Yeah, and we went here to our final slide. I want to thank our sponsor, CoolStuffing.com, our co-sponsors, CardHoarder.com and AlterSleeves.com, my co-host, MTG Nerd Girl and Ruben Bressler. You guys for watching and listening. Hope you support us at Patreon.com/MagicMikes. Please follow, like, tweet, favorite, share, subscribe, share, do everything social to tell people we exist. Catch us online on our Discord, Twitch.tv at Magic Mikes, on Twitter at Magic Mikes Cast, our Magic Mikes subreddit, and like the Magic Mikes page on Facebook. Or join us here next week, same time, same place, for another episode of Magic Mikes. Good night, everybody.